Hi. So, I look right shocked then. Today's video about recovery is going to be kind of about intuitive eating, meal plans, where I'm at with food. Going to talk about calorie counting, measuring food, all that jazz we shall be talking about. Okay, so how I kind of started, I don't really follow a meal plan at the moment. Well, no, I don't. But what I think about breaking out of a meal plan is first you need to, what I did was when I started recovering properly, I went to my dietitian, who unfortunately went on maternity leave like a month later, because honestly she was amazing. She was so good. She's from the Derbyshire Eating Disorders team. She was called Megan. She was amazing. She really helped me. But she put me on a maintenance plan, which involved like forceps and stuff because it was a big jump. But that's how I started. So that was a meal plan that I followed. I then started replacing my forceps for snacks, and then I was on all food. So what I did was I used that as a baseline. I knew I needed to eat at least that to make sure I was at least maintaining my weight and not losing weight. So a lot of it happened around Christmas time. I found Christmas quite helpful in my recovery because Christmas is one of my, I love it. I don't know, is it my favourite time of year? I think it might be. I absolutely love it, and I wanted to have the best Christmas ever because it was the first Christmas that I was out of hospital properly. So I was like, I'm going to smash this. So that kind of helped me to be able to eat more than I was eating, because in my head I was like, it's Christmas. I accepted in my head I'm gonna be eating more than I'm eating now, and I'm probably gonna gain weight, which I did. It was fine though. It was fine. Coped with it. So, what you need to do is, if you're following a meal plan now, which I recommend you start by following a meal plan, that's probably the best thing to do. But if you've been following a meal plan for a little bit, you should know roughly what meals, a baseline of what you should be having sort of, so you should know proper portion sizes and what sort of meals and snacks you should be having. And just use that, but don't be so strict on what you have. I'd say if you always have a naked bar, have something different. Just you can just start by doing a snack where you have whatever you want or something like that. But to me, I think if I'm having my 3 meals and 2 to 3 snacks a day, there shouldn't be an issue. I should be eating enough, unless you're eating really low calorie foods, which you shouldn't be doing. That should equate to enough. Just make sure you're eating decent sized meals, and I make sure I have what I call one bigger snack. I'll have some cereal bars and stuff, but I'll make sure I have a snack which is kind of like a pudding. So I'll have a muffin or a piece of cake, or sorry, I swore at you, something I bake. Just what I call a bigger snack. I always have one of them a day. And I think a lot of people think intuitive eating is kind of eating when you're hungry. I don't always feel hungry all the time for a snack all the time, but I will think in my head, no, you need to have something, because otherwise you're not going to have had enough throughout the day. So just think, yes, use your hunger cues, but also think, if you're not feeling hungry one day, think logically of what you should be eating. Also, I keep forgetting what I'm gonna say. Also with calorie counting, that is one thing I struggle with. It's not necessarily that I'm constantly adding up everything throughout the day and I give myself a calorie limit. I more give myself in my head I'm like, okay, for this meal should be this many, this should be this many, I kind of think I shouldn't go over this many calories for a meal, sort of thing. When I'm picking a sandwich or something from my lunch, maybe from a shop, I find that I can find it difficult. But what I am finding, I find myself picking what I should feel like I should be having calorie wise, not what I want. But I am working on that and I'm getting better at it. What I find is the first thing I look at and like read, like food wise, is normally like what appeals to me to what I actually want. Because what I do is I look at something, I then look at the calories and then start considering whether I should have that or not. So normally I try to, so I've recognised that, which is really good. And then I try and go back to that or think, no, what, I kind of try and stop myself, think, no, what do you actually want? So, yeah. What I find so helpful is going to unknown calorie places and not knowing the calories. Like, at work, I work in a cafe, we can have anything off the menu for lunch. I find it easier to pick because I'm not aware of how many calories are in it. When I find eating out so much better. Like, I make sure I don't look at the calories on the internet or anything. Most places don't have like the calories on the menu really. So I find that so helpful because I know I'm picking what I want. So, and I really challenge myself to try and do that. I'm really working on it. So when I really get in a good place with that, I'll try and make like an update video on that. But yeah, and if you're struggling with like intuitive eating and that sort of thing and breaking out a meal plan, sometimes if I'm not sure I've eaten enough or something, I do roughly, very roughly, I don't do an exact thing, tot up just like rough calories in my head and think about what I've eaten, and in my head I kind of know if it'll be enough or not. But counting calories is so hard to break out of, especially if you've done it for so long. It's just set in my head that that's what you base your decision on. It's just set in my head, and in everything it's written on the front of the bleeding packet and it's right there. And so it's so hard to revert your eyes from it, especially when you're used to that being what you automatically look at. So I feel like that's one of my biggest challenges, I feel like, but I'm gonna get there. And as for like different types of food, I don't really struggle with, I don't look at fat or sugar, I don't care. Don't really, I'm not about, like I like healthy food, like what you class as healthy foods and all that, but I used to be quite orthorexic. I've not been diagnosed with that, but I was that sort of thing with what I ate. But now, I feel like I don't really look at food as, oh, that's got a load of fat in it. Like, I'm cool. I'm quite good with my ranges of food. Like, I eat like all types of food, but it's just calories. The evil calories. Alright, and then one last thing, measuring food. I find measuring food gets you a bit more obsessive with the amount you eat and calories. How I broke out of measuring food, I feel like if you're measuring food now, like say you're measuring your breakfast, get your bowl, look roughly how much that is filling up your bowl, and then just keep looking for a few days so you get an idea, then pour it in yourself. Job done. I feel like cereal, I don't measure fudge portion sizes. Cereal, I just top my bowl up. And and you know, when I have pasta and stuff with my family, if it's not like in a ready meal, that's fine. Like I have like a bowl. I have my own bowl. That can be questionable, but I don't have my own bowl because I'm not obsessive about it. Like, I'm okay to eat out of the bowl. I just like pretty bowls. But normally, like, I've found that, like, I just fill my bowl. Because that seems to, like, with my ready meals, they seem to fill my bowl. So that's what I do with other stuff, basically. So that's kind of been a good... So it is kind of helpful to, like, use the same bowls and stuff. I don't want to say that because it can get really obsessive for some people, but sometimes it is, well, it's not even you have to have your own bowl. I feel like if you have a set of plates and stuff at home, all the plates are going to be the same size and the bowls are, so it's not a problem. And like, I'm cool to let my mum portion stuff out, if we're having like something as a family. So that's cool. And just with measuring, you've got to remember, if you go over by, even if you go over by 20 grams or loads of grams, it doesn't matter if you have more one day, because if you're not measuring it out, some days you're going to have a bit more, some days you're going to have a bit less. It's going to even itself out, and really having a bit more makes no difference to your weight. No, it's fine. So, oh, low battery. Alright, sorry, basically battery was dying, storage was full, so I just had to put that video on my laptop. But that is all I wanted to talk about. So, I hope this video was a bit helpful. Hope you enjoyed. This is where I'm at. Have a good week. Love you all. And I'll see you soon.